So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone SE 3, iPhone 13 Pro Max, speed test. Let's begin with a boot up in 3, 2, 1. Now keep in mind, they both have the same A15 Bionic chipset. This is pretty impressive, seeing that you have this nice chip in the cheaper iPhone SE 3 here. This one does give you 6 gigs of RAM on the right, and also gives you a $600 more, even more than that, like $700 more price tag. And the SE says, shut up, Nick. Today is my day. I'm gonna boot up first over the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So the SE with the first win. Keep in mind, this phone does have 4 gigs of RAM. That is up from 3 gigabytes of RAM on the past iPhone SE 2. So a nice jump there. All right, guys, so let's see which one is actually faster to go ahead and unlock with the biometrics. You can see Touch ID, man. You don't even have to look at this thing. You could be pulling it out of your pocket. Bang, you are in. So this is one of the key reasons why people still want an iPhone SE 3. Now for the iPhone 13 Pro Max, Face ID is as best as ever. Also pretty good angles. Overall, the phone unlocks incredibly quick. I would say Touch ID is a little faster just because you can not even look at the phone and get right in. So the speed of getting in could be a little quicker. But Face ID is not bad. It just requires that one extra step. Yes, you can lift to wake it up as well. It will appear as well. So very quick on both, neither a big issue. Cool thing to note about the SE 3 is that you do get 15.4 right out of the box. You'll have to update to that unless you get one of the green iPhone 13 Pro Maxes to 15.4. Nice thing also is that even though this is a cheaper iPhone, it's going to support just as long of updates as the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So it's got a long time. Before we get onto the apps, I just wanted to mention that you're going to find a much smoother 120 Hertz ProMotion on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So keep in mind, if you're looking for that smooth factor, it's going to be over there. Not to say the SE 3 isn't smooth, it's also pretty buttery smooth for a 60 Hertz panel, but it cannot compete with the likes of the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and overall just kind of like speed and how the actual smooth factor looks on both of them. All right, guys, so here we are at the app test. Everything closed out for both phones. You can see right there. Let's go ahead and begin with calendar. You could see about the same. Now the SE 3 will always look a little bit slower coming back home just due to that Touch ID. It's just not as smooth or as fast as the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but these apps are actually opening up at about the same time. This is pretty cool. Let's go into the weather. That's pretty cool for the SE because the SE 3 only cost a quarter of the price, but it's only a quarter of the phone. When you take a look at the screen size, you take a look at the cameras, it kind of makes sense why it's that much less. But we'll go over here to my page and we'll click on the green iPhone 13. You could see overall performance about the same, and some people might really appreciate this, just like they have in past years, that the SE is providing them with top tier performance even at this price point. So you can go to profile pages, about the same. Again, the scrolling though, it's just really noticeably better for the 13 Pro Max. That's really what gives it the edge here. Let's go to categories on both. We'll go to things to do. I missed that one on the SE. Let's do beauty and spas. And you could see 13 Pro Max. Let's do another category. How about hotels and travel? SE 3. So again, really cool that you can get this kind of performance on the SE 3. But you know, you would expect that for a phone at this price, but a lot of people still don't really like the older design, but some people are fine with it. So really pretty good value there in performance. We'll go into Amazon. Actually a really good value in performance because there's not a lot of Android phones, maybe none, that could touch it at that price point. Even though they can destroy it in their overall like screens and all the features they want to throw in, they're not going to do much when it comes to the performance. Let's go into Best Buy, and you can see Best Buy first there for the iPhone SE. So look at that performance. eBay, and you can see eBay once again on the iPhone SE. Let's go into Starbucks, and you could see we are getting coffee first. It looked like for the 13 Pro Max, and we'll go to Prime Video. I love how this thing performs right here. Let's go to my page right here on both of them. And this area, I gotta say, man, like the iPhone 13 Pro Max is gonna be way better. Nobody's gonna probably really wanna watch some content like that. Like, let's go into YouTube here, and we'll go over here. You could see Ben Simmons had to laugh as we throw it to as Andre Drummond gets away. Definitely pretty close here on YouTube. Again, this is a smaller screen size for the iPhone SE3, so the 13 Pro Max would be the one to go with for the media experience. But again, if you want that portability, it's going to be the SE3. So the SE3, will it take it down here in the gaming? I don't think so, but I wouldn't be shocked. That phone is a little rocket down here. Even though it's got those bezels, man, it's not playing. It's souped up under the hood. It just has, you know, that older look. So it's a sleeper phone for sure. Kind of reminds me of one of those cars. You don't think it's got that power, and then you pull up next and you get dusted. That's kind of like what it feels like with the SE3 right here. Now, again, I wouldn't prefer this for gaming either, because not only you have a 60 hertz display, but you have a smaller battery, which is crammed into a smaller body. It'll get warmer. Overall, the iPhone 13 Pro Max is the phone to go with for gaming by far. But again, the iPhone SE3 can run any graphically intensive game on the market. All right, so let's go to Dead Trigger 2 and see which one can get in here first. We'll hit play on both. Man, the button is so much larger on the 13 Pro Max. It feels like a max button for sure. SE3 fast on that one. But again, there's no way I would choose that for gaming. It just looks bad by comparison to this phone. Let's put it that way. Let's go into Asphalt 9. But again, a lot of people are probably buying the SE3 more for portability, like on the move, doing some tasks here and there, messaging, social media, and having a decent camera. An everyday phone. It's not a phone for, you know, heavy use, gaming, you know, creativity, you know, all kinds of extracurricular things that you would do on your phone. That's going to be your more premium tier. iPhones, let's hit play. Again, you could do them there, but you're gonna have a subpar experience, so there's no real reason to do that. Set up out of there and Crossy Road. And honestly, the gesture-based system just makes the gesture-based iPhones feel a lot more smoother navigating iOS. So that's the only thing that makes the iPhone SE feel a little bit behind. But man, does it really make up for it in performance? Because the performance it's kind of mind-blowing to see this kind of performance in such an older iPhone. It kind of feels a little weird at first, because you wouldn't expect this type of performance in such a small, you know, classic looking iPhone these days. And you could see the iPhone 13 Pro Max had Geekbench first. We'll go to Premiere Rush now. And this one's gonna go to, looks like the 13 Pro Max had that one. So overall, I would say 13 Pro Max, I think, loaded a couple apps a little faster, but a couple were faster in the SE. It's about a tie in every day, you know, opening up apps. But again, I still think the iPhone 13 Pro Max is a smoother experience, because you have this system where it's so much smoother. The animation just looks better. It feels like it's a little like quicker to go through, because you have to make that physical friction of touching the button to go back home. So that slows down your interactions just a little bit, very little, but it's something noticeable. All right, guys, so now let's go ahead and go through these applications. We'll start with the SE, see if we get any reloads for this phone. Looking good so far. We'll go to Asphalt 9. We'll go to Dead Trigger. And while I did say it's a little bit, you know, there's friction because of the Touch ID, it's a little bit slower, that doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. I still really love that one looked like it reloaded. I still really love that physical interaction. It feels very natural as well. Like you would just think, okay, there's a button, I'm gonna press the button, you know, it's easy. But at the same time, it does feel a little bit archaic, being the same as like an iPhone 6S, iPhone 7, you know, it's an older kind of feel, iPhone 8. Overall, the RAM management was good with that 4 gigs. Let's go through here. Now look at this. We're gonna go here to Geekbench, but just look at this interaction. Like this gesture-based system, it's so easy to swipe through this stuff, and it just lends to a fluid feeling, just a more fluid, quicker experience. Best Buy did the same thing on this phone. ESPN, I mean, you could just do this all day. No lag. 15.4 has been super smooth on my end. Battery life has been solid. Some people have been complaining it's horrible. I haven't found too many issues. Overall, it seems like 4 gigs is enough for the SE. 6 gigs would probably be unnecessary, to be quite honest. All right, guys, so here we are at apple.com. Let's see which one is faster to go ahead and get to this website. 3, 2, 1. And looks like the SE, maybe they were really close. Again, here's another area where the iPhone 13 Pro Max will be better. Much more screen real estate to view this. However, it's also slightly smoother with that ProMotion. The display feels a little bit more liquid. It feels a little bit, I don't know, more polished. It's smooth. Let's just put it that way. SE is great and all. No problems here either. But again, it just doesn't look quite as fluid as the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Look at this score. The SE3 has won the benchmark. 1746 on the single. OMG. 1729 on the 13 Pro Max. I'm blown away. Look at the score of the multi though. Yes, the SE goes down, but that's probably because of the less RAM. Slightly only. This is a rocket in your pocket. Yes, that rhymed. I wasn't trying to do that, but it still rhymed. Anyway, rocket in your pocket right here. If you love that, comment down below, rocket in my pocket. And last thing I want to do is open up those cameras and see which one can do this quicker. 3, 2, go. And that's going to be the 13 Pro Max. Of course, I'm going to do it again just to make sure. 3, 2, go. And that one looked like the SE. Let's do it a third time just for fun. We'll do it one more time. 3, 2, go. About the same. So not a huge difference. Let me turn off macro and let's take a quick shutter speed test. 3, 2, go. Go. So about the same. You're not going to miss moments on either. And of course, they both have the same way or similar way to unlock the camera from the lock screen. Just like that, you can swipe away. However, the iPhone 13 Pro Max does have this, which you can click in like that. You can't do that on this phone. You got to kind of swipe like that to get in there. But man, this phone is a decent value. If you can live with its older design, the SE3 has shown that it can stand toe to toe with the best iPhone on the market, which is the fastest phone on the planet. So again, rocket in your pocket right here. I'm impressed. However, I'm not impressed with design. I still want to see Apple do something different. I'm going to compare this phone to the upcoming Galaxy A53 to show you why Apple needs to do something else with this phone at this price point in terms of the overall looks. But rest assured, if you're buying this for performance, which a lot of you are, you're going to be extremely happy. Thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.